Hi class, welcome to Unit C, Concept 1, Box and Whisker Plots. I'm going to show you how to analyze a box and whisker plot that's been given to you, and later in class I'll show you how to actually draw the box and whisker plot in your calculator. So if you take a look at these test scores, the box and whisker plot for these scores looks something like this. The box represents 50% of your data. This line drawn in the middle represents the median, and the whiskers on the end each represent 25% of the data. We're going to go ahead and label the median. The median, again, is the middle number. Here's the median. Okay, and that value is 74. That means half of the data is above 74, half of it is below. The next value I'm going to label for you is the maximum. The maximum is over here on the end, and it is 101. The next one I'm going to label is the minimum. The minimum is 61. Now, the last two data points represent the different quartiles. What a quartile is, it represents 25% of the data. Quartile 1, which is listed here, it's the left-hand side of the box, that means 25% of our data falls below it. So this is at 69. 25% of the data was a score lower than 69. The other side of the box represents quartile 3, and that is at 87.5. 75% of the data falls below this line, 87.5. So here we have our box and whisker plot. Now we're going to go ahead and analyze it. If you count the number of scores, there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of these scores. So 12 scores divided by 4 for the different quartiles equals 3. That means that in each section of our box and whisker plot, there are 3 data points. So 3 data points fall between 61 and 69. 3 data points fall between 69 and 74. 3 data points between 74 and 87.5. And the last 3 data points between 87.5 and 101. Great. Now what we need to do is write some sentences. One sentence that can use 25% is 25% of the data is above, oops, can't write here, is above 87.5. And in your homework you're going to create other sentences including 50% and 75%. Alright, we're going to go ahead and look at another. So in this set of data we have scores, maybe for the same test, maybe for a different test, who knows. The box and whisker plot that represents this data looks something like this. Now if you notice, this one's a little bit different because the whisker on this end of the graph, the top 25%, the top quartile, is a very small range. There's a very small number spread of these values up here. If you look at the whisker on the lower end, it's fairly long. That means that the bottom 25% was spread over a larger range of values. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start labeling our different quartiles. The median is at 75.5. Quartile 1 is at 67. The minimum is at 42. The quartile, upper quartile, is at 92, and our maximum is at 94. Okay, let's go ahead and count the number of values for this box and whisker plot. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, if I take 10 and divide it by 4, I'm going to get a decimal. So I can't go ahead and evenly space it out like I did with example 1. So what I'm going to do instead is figure out what the median represents. The median represents halfway in between my data points. So let's take 10 and divide it by 2. That gives us 5 data points. So 5 data points are going to be above the median, and 5 data points are going to be below the median. Okay, I'm just going to write that way up here. Okay. Now the next thing I need to do to figure out how many values are in each quartile is then divide 5 by 2. Now if I try to do that, let's see, 5 divided by 2, I'm going to get 2.5. Well, that's not going to work because I can't divide a data point in half. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to say that one of my data points rests directly on the quartile. So that means that out of my 5 points, 1 is going to be right at 67. That leaves me with 4 data points left. 4 is a number I can divide by 2. So in the bottom whisker, there's 2 data points. And in the left-hand side of the box, I'm going to have 2 data points. Now, let's think about the right-hand side of the box. I still have 5 data points. I need to split that up between the right-hand side of the box and the right-hand whisker. Again, 5 divided by 2, it doesn't work out. So what I'm going to do is say one of my data points is going to be directly at 92. And I'm going to split the remaining 4 in between the right-hand side of the box and the right whisker. Now, why are we doing this? We can see directly the number of data points that are above a certain number. So we could say at 67 that 75% of the data is scored above 67. Well, the question might say, how many data points is that actually? So we're going to go ahead and count. So 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2. These are all of the data points that are above or at 67. Okay, so 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 1, 6, 6 plus 2, so 75% or 8 data points. It's not exact, but this just represents the scores that we do have. Okay, we're going to go on to the next slide here. I'm going to go ahead and let you look at this box and whisker plot. It's already been drawn for you. You can see that each of the data points are labeled with nice pretty blue dots. Go ahead and notice that this is for 25 students. Please label the number of students in each of these quartiles. You might need to go back to slide or section 2, question 2 to see if you can if you need more help. But go ahead and pause the video here. Label the number of students in each quartile. All right, let's check our work and see how we did. I'm going to see if I can split 25 evenly into the 4 different quartiles. Well, you know what? It turns out I can't. 6.25. So let's scrap that idea. Can I split 25 evenly between the upper half and the lower half? Let's see. 12.5. Well, that doesn't work either. That tells me that one data point is directly on the median. Now I have 24 data points to split in between the upper half and the lower half, and that evenly splits into 12. 12 can be divided by 2, so that means in the left whisker and on the left-hand side of the box, they each have 6 data points. On the right-hand side of the box and on the right whisker, there are also 6 data points. So now it's very easy to answer questions such as, how many students scored 90 or below? 90 is here. So below would be all of these data points right here. So 6 plus 6 plus 1 plus 6 would be 19. All right, if you have any questions, please write that in the question section of your study packet, and don't forget to write the summary. I'll see you in class.